Testing. Okay, we're back. This is going to be about prop shafts. And off a V70, be the same one probably on a V70 XC, XC70 even. This is my blue R, which is a 2003 a 53 plate. Here's the original. Well, I think it's the original. This was actually given to me a while ago, rumoured to be from the car, but I don't know. The car I've had for maybe 9 years, and it's never had four-wheel drive. The bevel gear, the midway diff, and the shaft was missing. Drives completely okay without it really, but I always wanted to get it working. And then I got this shaft a while ago, and I think about here, it looked like someone had actually put a hacksaw cut through the shaft for some reason, and a friend of mine welded some brazed some material in. But whether that caused a problem or not, I guess it probably did, because if you look at the balancing weights, they're very small. Here's a balancing weight. I've got a feeling maybe that this didn't do it very good in properties of balance, and after this shaft was put on by a friend for me, I never did it. It wasn't nice to drive. It was okay slow speed, but on the motorway it was bad. Then there was a lot of science over the early shaft being replaced on VIDA part number with another part number for a later shaft. And then I was always worried to buy one because what if you got the wrong one? You can't send it back and so on. But my friend kept on saying, you know, someone like Auto Doc would be completely fine with accepting it back. Just try it. And I think they're actually listed for the later car is probably quite a good price for the shaft from Auto Doc. Anyway, so this one is part number 306517 something. We're not far off. There we go. 769 306 51769, and on it says 22nd of September 2005, which in my book puts that as a later model, not an early. But whether a later is actually when it got the TF80 gearbox, but I don't think so. I'll tell you why, because on VIDA there are some drawings where it enters the diff, and it has the diff, like mine, has a bigger pinion coupling, and it's got a vibration dampener built into the pinion coupling, whereas I think the later one didn't then have that for some reason, so therefore the shaft would be probably a different length on early to late. Someone correct me if you want to, but having bought this one off eBay breakers, obviously, probably almost bloody, I don't know, a year ago. I've been so busy with this job I did have up until Friday, that you had no time to think about bloody anything apart from the next day again. So if we line these two up, they're bang on. They're you know, you can see. Ignore that. Pretend that's on at the moment. So it's a two-piece tube, as you can see, with a UJ in the middle and a bearing in the middle. There isn't a lot of hope. Actually, I think they pull apart, but would you want to try and do that? I don't know. Probably not. I'm not going to try and do it to replace this middle one. So here's another weight by example, another balancing weight. You'll notice on the other one they're different shape, which is whatever they needed to balance it in the factory. This one looks remarkably clean, because I gave it a bit of a clean yesterday, and I'll show you how shortly. And then we'll have a go at servicing this shaft and putting on new couplings, because I already knew from eBay advert that they told me already that the ends would need replacing, which brings out another science, because when you look on suppliers for these, particularly on eBay, I think they're labelled up as front and rear. Even my two over there, even with a price difference, I think, from front and rear. But when you get them, I couldn't help thinking, why would they have made them even different? Maybe we'll need to, surely. And I don't think they are any different. So it might be a red herring that they are front and back, when I think they actually are, in general, just the same coupling. On the ends I'm talking about, not on, you know, yeah, exactly, on the ends. So, yeah, okay, so the other side looks like it's off and nice and clean, which it is, because I had a quick go yesterday before picking the camera up. But a bit of a Blue Peter, I got myself prepared for the chat now. So what I was left with when I got given the shaft was, let's get the light on this. Jesus Christ. Right, yeah, that messy bent up inner casing, and then the inner parts, which I've painstakingly cleaned up for now, so we don't have to get messy when we're looking at them. But effectively, you've got a spline female, and then it's not the same both sides, it's only one-sided. So you can see there you've got a nice leading entry to start with, and that is the way in, and then that is the outside of the pushed on with a little piece of shaft sticking out. There's a circlip. Where's my magnet? There it is. There's a circlip, which is what I took off to take it off the shaft. Let's have a look. This is an old bed sheet, but it's obviously when all those are out of commission, you can use these as nice rags in the garage. So ignore her. Okay, hence, right, there we go. There's easier parts put on that side there, as I said to you. And yeah, if you put it to that angle there, you can just take out the inner bit there, but it gave you serve the purpose. How does that work? Well, when you haven't lost the balls, there will be balls in the bearing slots there, and then it gives the action to be able to keep itself central within the outer race, but also move around and give you a bit of play. This can be shown nicely here on another one, which isn't great, but as you're looking at, you know, 22 years old and been out in the driveway in the rain for about the last 6 months, I would have thought. I knew it wasn't going to work. Okay, so here we have a lovely clean shaft that I have worked on yesterday, and here is the groove for the circlip, expanding circlip, obviously. And then, as I said, like I said, I can turn this around and it will pop out. And then we have the entrance hole there, and then we can just gently offer it up, and you can see it already wants to go. It needs a bit of persuasion because the hole is obviously tapered to hold it on, as well as the clip. But if you try and put it on the wrong way around, not much luck. You can really force it on, but you've got to know that's wrong. It's going to go on nicely. There's also a second way to check, which is here. The inner coupling, sorry, the inner cover is got a larger journal than the actual bearing, and then the bearing has then been machined down to a smaller journal, and then the outer cap fits on the smaller side. So when you get a new one, which we'll look at in a moment, you shouldn't be able to get this wrong when you put it on. Okay, right, so as you can see, I'm nice and clean, and I've cleaned the shaft, and that was literally with a rag and big up to Lidl's for their French, but I think we get the same one in England. When I was in France years ago, I got this for cleaning bicycles, and it's really, really good for cleaning everything. And then so what I did was, yeah, microfiber ragged with the Lidl cleaner all over first. I tried not to destroy the label because that's done so far for the last 20 odd years. Let's keep it intact for parts numbers. You'll notice my other one didn't serve very well with keeping its part number on. Up here, just as I'm here, this one is proper knackered, this bearing, and it's already had itself split here, which we'll have a look at in a moment. So after you clean it with the this one, then I worked on some sort of solvent spray or carb cleaner or brake cleaner or whatever else, and then that gives you this sort of condition now, which is pretty cool. So I've got one end completely cleaned off. Here is the guts to the the coupling, and that is there. So tools you're going to kind of need for this job are going to be a hammer, a chisel, a set of circlips, a pliers, a vernier caliper, I'll show you why in a moment, and some cleaners and cleaning and so on. Right, let's have a little look at what we're going to show you. I've got two new ones, and they are not different, but one's clearly got a bit more gear to it than the other. You'll see what I mean, in the form of sticky back gaskets, if you like. So let's go through those in a second. I'm going to fully unpack the box. There's the box unpacked. Here's the other one I've got, fluid. Right, so let's look. So circlip and rubber gator clip, one gasket. This is the what I would call the slightly cheaper one. No disrespect, Mr. People who make this, but you didn't put sticky on the back of your gasket like the other one did. So this is a gasket, looks like a bit of cork or simulated cork, and the idea is that this is the outer casing, by the way, and this is the inner casing. So inside the shaft, holding the bearing. Let's have a quick look at the journals that I told you about. So we've got a bigger journal here and a smaller journal, and as said, the smaller journal will accept the outer cover, so it can only be the outside, and the bigger journal is swallowed by the actual inner cover. So, and again, I have to hasten to add, I've never done one of these. It's not dissimilar to obviously a normal CV joint on the end of a drive shaft for your road wheel, which I have done. But let's have a go together. So this is some grease for the to pack into the joint in a minute. Now the other one, we have a new circlip. We have the gator clip, but now we have these gaskets in a different form, but they have got self-adhesive sticky on the back, so at least then we can stick them on here ahead of putting it together, and they should stick. The idea is going to be that the grease should be held in to the bearing inside of the gasket. Right, so that's both of those, grease in a different sort of style container, and the outer casing, which is there, the bearing. Remember, I don't know which even was what way round now, but one was front way round and one was rear way round. Sorry, one was for the back, one was for the front, rear way round. But I reckon they're the same. Let's check then. So this is one of them. Take your trusty verniers, always 0 at the beginning. So face to face, wipe your jaws. No, we're not looking for critical machining. Oh, although we are, aren't we? 23.5. So that's pretty much 0.01, 0.1 difference. I can live with that. The other quick test. There's the in, there's the out. Lefty and righty. We're going to visit the shaft quickly and have a look if we feel like they have the right amount of teeth, because I have heard there are different spline teeth counts. That's quite nice. Oh, I like that. Now the one in my right hand, There's this one, there's the entry. Oh, that's nice. That's all that goes on a treat. So do we actually have a problem with the other one here? Because that is really nicely going on. That was my right hand, and this is my left hand, and this one I think it just needs a bit of persuasion. Not beautifully happy with the fact the other one just sort of half slides on, but let's have a look at yeah. I dare say, might need to persuade this off now, slightly, like that. Yeah, I think I'm still happy. So my right hand was this one. The video will remember, won't it? Anyway, it's going to go. We've got a make on it. Pivotal. I think it's that one. Yep. And this one is Pascal. Hats off, Pascal. Yours is that one. So essentially, they look the same beast. Yep. Right, let's turn them off. Fresh battery, want them to live for a while. Into our measurement bin. Okay, so we've obviously got one off already, and I didn't have to take it off. And now we're going to get to that point, aren't we? Because we're all ready to go. There's some tools. It's about 11 at night, and what could be worse than someone now with a little chisel? But I think, oh no, you're lucky here. I blew Pete at this end of casing yesterday. That's all I did. So let's... It's basically off. I just got to give it a bit of a kiss. Like that. My microphone cable, hold on. It's starting to get cold now here. Probably talking about 9 or 10 tonight, I bet. Let's get the cactuses and stuff inside soon. Right, here we go. So you can see, do we have a light? Yes, we do. Right, let's have a little bit of a dab in that. You can kind of see the amount of grease you got going on. There's the gasket on the plate. And they've stuck theirs to the actual... is that what you're supposed to do? Their gasket is affixed to the actual bearing, which makes a bit more sense, to be honest, I think. There we go, look, there's the circlip. Pliers. Well, all circlip pliers are not the same. Some open outwards, some open inwards. They have an inversion in the hinge to go in or out, depending on what the clip is you need to remove. We need to open this one to take it off the shaft, so it's expanding. You get different end sizes and shapes, and sometimes you can actually change the tips in the same tool. This one, luckily, just fits. So the trick is engage it in both holes, put the torch in your mouth, and then open it up and take it off. Horrible grease. No, we're not. We're going to keep it anyway. Keep it, not for long, just till the job's done, and I'll bin it in a minute. Oh, sorry, I'll bin it after I finished. Go on my trusty stack of magnets with the other one. Okay, do I really care about Maybe you can get a bit of light on the situation to help the camera. That's right, that's quite nice. That's quite nice. So, yeah, stuck to the bearing, that's nice. So yeah, the clip's off now, and I'm going to give it a bit of a wipe here just so we don't have a bit too much of a mess. Now, I'm going to attempt to catch it. What do you reckon? Yep. Like that. And we're going to give it a bit of a... These in the food trade were called easy downs, meaning they would catch the product as it fell and stop it getting damaged down the conveyance. Right, okay, so that light is a bit... So you'll see that's rubber, that grey bit's rubber. And what I want to do is I want to sort of get behind the bearing so I can give it a bit of a battering. So can we move? What did I say? It just fell off the shaft, which is both nice but also concerning slightly why it was so easy to get off. Is there a difference in shafts? We're going to measure it with our verniers, which my dad calls very nears, which I've always liked. It's got a bizarre taper going on here. Why is the other one not like that? Maybe there is a difference here then. Jeez. Surely that's just on the gaiter shape would be different. By the way, pretty good. These Stanley things work out pretty well, and the old trusty workmate. It's a nice height to work at. So let's get a bit of spray. Nice. Any oil in there? We're going to use our trusty brushes from the brush store. Get all foreign bodies off where you're going to seal to, because it won't seal. I'm actually even half tempted to nick one off the other shaft. If I've got the wrong, if I've ended up with they are different couplings, that don't look too bad. Although it does look factory, obviously. I don't think that's too bad. Right, so that's a bit of a brush. Brand new. Look at this. Get a nice clean rag. Not that one. The old bed sheet. Pretty good. Try and get in the groove. Circle it. Nice. Garage needs a serious clean up, yeah, but another day. Right, this covers off. So yes, they're glued on to the actual bearing. If you're my age, then you know this cartoon. It's on YouTube, I can't believe it, all of them. 80 days. Right, right, 5S, tidy up. Can't know what it stands for, but it is about keeping things in their place. Well, everything having a place. Effectively keeping it cleaned up. Right. Nice, yeah, okay. Where's my measurer? Right, the journal for the clamp, 19mm. Yeah, that's the same, isn't it? That flare, that bigger flare, it's the same. Yep, close enough. The actual just size of the spline journal on its biggest size, 1973. $1987, close on it. Length of shaft from start to end, 6854. Yeah, man. Methinks journal size for the circlet, 1743. Yeah, close enough, I think. So, using the wrong tool for the job, turn it off. Use the little pokey end quick because I noticed a bit of in here. Love it. Look at that. Right, next thing then is just surely to probably put the new bits on, isn't it? I think there's a slight subtle difference in the back rubber. I looked once. It's awfully stiff, awfully stiff. That one. Less stiff. And you've got this odd groove key. Is that an insert or is that part of the pipe? It's part of it. Right, okay. Same. I think it's got to be worth putting the gaskets on first before you make a mess of it with grease. I'd rather have some alcohol here. I think that's up there. Alcohol. I think that's up the road, up the driveway. What's in this? I mean, what I mean is I don't want it to stop the bloody gasket sticking to this metalwork. It hasn't come pre-greased. I want to kind of give it a wipe. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, a bit of shit on there, wasn't there? Okay. It's a bit bloody close to that brace turning. I'm telling you that. Before we do that, let's get the other one. I'm not in order with that because it looks awfully close to the bloody bearing every time. Although the screws you have in there are 8s, I think. Still can't really distort the whole size. Right. Let's do it. Stickers. Bottle shit. Well, I don't push it down properly. It just doesn't look like it's in the right shape. It's better just maybe on the inside there. Yeah, it's a bit stingy, isn't it? Okay, I think I'm happy-ish. I'm not convinced that's going to tolerate the grease. Jesus Christ, I think this is all going to come off. It's not very warm tonight. Maybe I could have heated the metal up first. It might have helped the glue stick. Yeah, meanwhile, the other one just literally sits there. I'm actually, look, it fits nicer almost. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's the choice. I'll nod to the channel Beats and Bars. I was going to give you a nod of a beer type yesterday, and then that was yesterday. I haven't got one today. I liked their reaction to, I can't remember what it was lately. It'll come back to me. Check them out, Beats and Bars. I'm not entirely happy with that one. What are you going to do? Again, going against my better judgment, I'm sticking this on, but I don't think... Were you meant to shove it on that? Were you meant to shove it on this? Is that why I've done it wrong? No way, there's not enough meat. There's not enough meat on there. Or is there? Hold your horses. Because if it was stuck on this thing first, you could put the grease in without destroying the gasket. What do you think? Because invariably, it didn't really sit right in here, did it? What about upside down? Shouldn't make much difference, but... I don't know, I'm going to go put it on the bearing. Feel free to wind this forward, obviously. Encourage it to stick. So the bearing, remembering that the smaller journal is the outside, you can force the bits out like that, and then we can get some grease in the back and force it that way, and force it that way, and force it that way, and force it that way. And the time's getting late, I'm sure. I might have to do a little pausette and carry on in the morning. Okay, I think that's yeah, you see what I mean? That rubber ain't great. I don't quite like that. You'll tell me, pivotal, did I put your gasket on the wrong face? Was I supposed to put it onto this face first? Too later, eh? Right, let's give that a bit of a sec to stick, and then we're going to 5S these bits. Circlip pliers we need, chisel we don't probably need. Back in the chisel bin, and then, oh my lord, look at the journey one has to take to, Jesus Christ, 5S the stuff. I can do something like that, and that. Oh yeah, there's the new, one of the new seals to weld into the Nissan, and the wing down there. I've got the other side in another room. Volvo rear lights, clear lens. Clear lens is the facelift clear lens. Oh, I've kind of tried them on my early one as well. Not technically date, whatever the term is, proper. Oh, that's a better term, I know, a more proper term. Date correct, era correct. Right, there we go then. So I think we're kind of there. Pack the grease in. That's bin, obviously. And what's quite nice is if you move this over a bit, don't need that one anymore, do we? These little cutouts on the stands works pretty nice to hold the shaft while you're working on it. See what I mean? Got a little block on the old workmate, and then I might get that little brush before a little wire brush before it goes back on. If one were to pull away hard in a car with no drop shaft connected, or you're on a gravelly track, it will wheel spin at the front, and I would like to experience what this car would feel like with this on. It's taken me many years to get to this point, I'm telling you that, and a lot of that was confusion over shafts and other stuff, which doesn't seem to be a problem at the moment. 90 grams and 90 grams, so probably 90 grams is what you've got to put in. They're not into wasting material, these companies, on you. Two different styles of clip. Not that one, it's the same one. But this one is the traditional kind of CV joint on an axle clip. Engage the barb, if I remember rightly. Engage the barb and then crimp up the middle there. So you get it onto the rubber, engage the barb, and then get some tool pincer to squeeze them two together. That's all right. But the other one is, what the bloody hell would you do here then? Sort of half bent up from new. So obviously there's the barbs, but you got that triangle piece fitting. Sort of a bit horrible, that one. I think I'll have to work on what I think is the easiest one first. This was this one. Right, as I said to you, that was the out, and that's the in. Shaft in, I mean. Turn it off. Similar to if you've ever soldered on headphone connectors onto cables, or DC power jacks onto cables and then forgotten to put on the cover on the cable first before you put them on, you'll know what I'm talking about. I do fancy a little bit of grease on this gator. But I don't fancy touching it. It's just going to ruin my gloves. Okay, plenty. It's got that bulbous end to go over. That's most of my grease I just lost. There we go. See where we are. A bit more. Yeah, look, clips in place. What's quite nice as well is that you should be able to pull this out a bit to get to the clip. We'll do that at the end. There we go. So that's the back on. And should we put the other back on as well while we're here? Why have we got that bloody end on there? That's a bit. Very gently, using a piece of door handle, I'm going to see if this is a separate. It looks like one piece, doesn't it? It looks like one piece. Why would they have put that in there? If I can twist it anymore. Yep. Try at least get a bit of a chance for some lubrication to get around it. Actually, I'm going to have to desecrate my gloves here. Put a bit there. Might make it a bit easier. Graphite grease. Turn it. Nice. Yeah, look, that's pretty good. So in fact, are you better off getting the clamp on now, because otherwise we won't be able, once the bearing's on, we're not going to be able to force that out to get the clip on. That one's to the back, and on the back of that one. This is the front. There's the clip. That's pretty nice, isn't it? Love it. Probably should have put this on. I'm going to bend it a bit, putting it on here now. Gently. Okay. So you get that past there. Get it as tight as you possibly can. Oh, as tight as we can. I don't think that we can go a bit better than that, surely. I think that's. Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it? That sounds pretty nice. Let's now clamp that up, I think. Should we have got the tool out first? Yeah, of course we should. Should we have got the tool out? That's the sort of tool you want. I've got a sharper one. One's got blunt pins. I don't really want them sharp, obviously, but you got to get a good purchase. I think that'll do. Are we happy? I don't think we're going any tighter than that. I don't think. Check again. Check again. No, I don't think we can. That's quite a... Oh no, never say never. No, I don't think so. I think we're going for this clamp now. Are we worse than we were off? It's caught around there now. Get that in there. Surely that's better in there. I think that's the same. Oh, that looks huge now. Oh God, I'm doing it with a Jubilee clip if this doesn't work. Make sure you're square and then clip it home. I think evidently that was the right one. I'm home and that's it. Nice. Let's even play. Look, the gap there between the clip. Right, don't forget the gaskets in a minute. I've got to get some grease into this, I think, basically. All of this, I think. There's definitely a fox above us on the roof here. And they sleep on the garage roof. Fox is coming here as long as I have been living here. There's like a no man's land between end of everyone's gardens down the whole road, and they've got literally all the access to that. Now let's just try and work this in. Try and go back the other way now. The more we get in, the more it should free up and start just moving nicer. Yeah, a bit easier to move. Possibility of too much in here would do what? It would blow the gator off pressure. probably half. Okay. I think. It's the outside. Don't forget to put one on first. I think we just put them on like that and then just push it on. Right, so that's the inside. Doesn't feel very nice. Let's try again. Splatter it everywhere. Give it a little bit of a persuasion with a nylon. Definitely got it the right way. Yep. Yeah, that's the outside, isn't it? Telltale was the smaller journal on the right. Rubber or nylon. Dirty, innit? It doesn't feel nice at all. It doesn't seem to have even gone at all, does it? That's the bad side. Shouldn't be able to go on. Not the bad side, the outside. This is the inside. What is going on here? I'm tempted to almost cross-contaminated bloody back end now already, haven't I? Little chamfer on the inside. Because it seems to want to go on this end a lot nicer than the other one. See, already on its own away there. There we go. There we go. Bit of patience. Stopped us forcing it. So at the moment, we ain't far enough on. I don't want to lose any of my grease here, but I'm going to lose some out of that shaft. Oh, yeah, man. How are we doing with the casing? Good. There's the groove. We're there, I think. Sounds it. You know what I'm worried about now? I'm worried about, yeah, man, I'm worried about this gasket scenario. Can we even get to it now? Oh, stroke of luck, isn't it? Stroke of luck. Where are we? Yeah, I think we're almost got lucky there. I think we have to get a screwdriver. I can't remember where anything is. Yeah, good enough. Not really the main connection. What I'm talking about is the gasket. And also the casing. Okay, so we've got to persuade the casing around. It's pretty good. The gasket looks like it's come with it. Yeah, pretty good. Circuit time. It's not on far enough, this clip won't go in. If it is, you should be able to encourage the clip. And it will give you a rewarding click. It's pretty rewarding, wasn't it? Let's make sure. I'm not opening it, I'm just gripping it and turning it around. No, I think I'm pretty happy with that. On. So, can we bring the whole joint out a bit to get a bit more oil in, grease in? Very short. Ah, okay, you see what just happened there, guys? Gasket's correct. Yeah, man, I got a bit bloody lucky there because I've done the clip up. And obviously not thought about that. So think about that, everyone. I think that's pretty good, isn't it? Is that supposed to be pushed on or clipped in? Right. Well, I tried. Uh, 5S. 5S. Right, that's it, innit? Kit done. Kit exhausted. That's the other kit. Okay. Now the grease is actually quite a bonus here because the grease is actually holding the gasket in place. In fact, that's an old trick my dad taught me years ago, is you can use a bit of grease to hold something in place. Alright, we've got to make sure we're inside the clipped area, otherwise it's going to be the wrong thickness sticking out. It's going to be tough, isn't it? It doesn't want to stay in there, does it? This needs a smack on. Too overzealous, overzealous, overzealous. Just bang on the end, surely not. But yeah, evidently so. Can we adjust the gasket quickly? Yes, we can. Is that it? I feel that's a bit weak. Just a persuasion. Don't know if that's good enough. The gap looks a bit odd the same, doesn't it, all the way around? I'm worried about the back cover. It's not greatly tight, but maybe they're not. The screw goes through obviously the whole way through. I've noticed a difference with the original. That's way bigger, isn't it? $27, $25.5. Maybe because they can't. If it's only a mil or two, that's absorbed surely in the actual joint travel. 26. Tomorrow I might give that a bit more of a smack because there's people in bed. Maybe that's the gasket. Who knows? I'll tell you what I'm not actually happy with is that clip, to be honest with you, because it does bang there. The other one they give, it's got a lower profile bit. Yeah, concerning, slightly concerned. Oh my god, concerned because this one looks fat. We got it on the right round. Oh shit. 28. Definitely smaller. On my own. So if you got the wrong end, I might be nicking this one after all, I think. That's the original clip, very low profile. The gate is actually in quite good nick, I think. To me, that looks a bit of a smaller. Would it matter too much? See, one thing I didn't bother doing, did I? Which I should have probably done. .78 across the 78. So the result. That's the concern. If that's back up to 27, then I'd nearly 2 mil out. Alright, I think that'll do us tonight. Let's carry on the next clip.